The following dysfunctional gaming program was filmed in front of a live Twitch audience and Randy.
What's happening? Welcome to Dysfunctional Gaming's Talking D&D. I have my good friend here, GM Patch Nasty, as always. How are you today, dude?
I'm good. I'm wearing a different wrestling shirt. And, you know, you can be a monk and a wrestler because then you can just kick people in the face. Fucking super kick party! All right. Yeah, I'm good.
Great. I'm Thundercat0420, and you're here with us today. Hope everyone's doing well. Today we're talking from the DM's point of view. Most of this stuff will be all about the Dungeon Master today.
From behind the screen.
Yeah, we're from behind the screen, exactly. We trying to talk about the big bad today. The endgame evil guy, the BBEG, the villain.
Yes. Yes.
We will be having a guest at some point, hopefully within the next half hour. Going up.
She's getting a haircut. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And can we talk about her for a second before she gets here? And
my fiance?
Yeah, let's get into
depending on what. Well, I mean, I've known her for the past 11 years, so I could say a few things, and I played D&D with her probably her entire D&D career. I don't want to say anything for her, but the love of my life.
But what about her being a DM? What was she like as a DM for you?
Well, she was. I think that's an unfair question because I got to see her prep being a DM, and it was she was very into prepping, but she also ran Ravenloft. So if you're a DM and you've ever even looked at the Strahd book, that tower is crazy. You need to know the insides of that. It's an upward dungeon that has a literal heart in a tower. So, she was a very fair DM. She was the way of the player she is she's a very rules player. So, I never tried to get away with any bullshit. I didn't try, I don't think. Well, I did name the Lich Skinny Pete. And then we were friends at the end of the game. But that was cool. No, I liked her as a DM. I don't know. Well, I know her opinion on DMing, but I'll let her talk about that.
Yeah, we'll have her talk about all of her DMing information when she gets here. Honestly, Beth is one of my favorite players I've ever DM'd for. She really can push the game to its limits because she knows 95% of the rules. So if she could think of a way to get through something, she'll pull a rule out and you'll be like, well, you're right. That's a great idea. That's a great way to put it. And she doesn't rules lawyer you, but she definitely knows, like, I could probably get away with doing this because of this rule. So if you're ever like, I don't think that's gonna work, she could pull out that rule from page whatever and bring it up in that way. Oh.
No, I didn't hear it.
I've been given the 1 second. 1 minute. For all you listeners. This will probably be cut out. So who's in the chat tonight? Anyone here right now have any questions about DMing or Dungeons and Dragons? Because I can answer those.
They're wondering why I walked away, so... Yes, Beth is home. There is stuff that I forgot to bring inside because I didn't hear them knock because I have headphones on.
Oh.
Yep. So she is going to go to the bathroom, and then I'm going to hang on. I need to check my sound levels again. And then... over to this, that. Hello, Thundercat.
Hello.
Okay, do you hear yourself?
I didn't hear myself.
Perfect. So when Beth is done, we can talk to Beth. I
Sounds
saw the
good.
door open after we stopped. After you started stopped talking for a second.
All right, so let's get into the big bad first before she gets on the call. What is the big bad? The BBEG, the big bad endgame, the big bad evil guy, the big bad everybody go.
Big bad everybody go. That's the first time I've heard that, but I like it.
I just made it up as I was going.
I would like to, your big bad evil guy is usually your main villain. You can always start off with this person being the bit like looks like the big bad evil guy, but he might just be the foe for the lich that's pulling the strings. In D&D, in any campaign book, you always have a big bad evil guy. You Asarak for Tomb of Horrors, Tomb of Annihilation. Spoiler alert, it's old. You should have played it. There's Tiamat. I've already said that one. There's Strahd. There's Rage of Demons, which is all of the demons. There's the Four Giants. There's Rime of the Frost Maiden, which I haven't played and I haven't spoiled for myself. Same with Dragon Heist. There's Halaster from Dungeon of the Mad Mage. There's all kinds of big bad evil guys. Typically, the big bad evil guy is he is Thanos for you Marvel fans. He is
Darth.
he's Darth Vader. The Darth Vaders, the Jokers. There are multiple ways to portray a big bad evil guy, but they are essentially your antagonist to your protagonist. They are the heel to your face. They usually personify everything the heroes stand against, or my favorite one is always the manipulative one, the one who's not really brawny but more brainy, the one who's working politics and working people into hating the party.
Yeah,
but that's my take on a big bad evil guy.
Yeah, that's the basic rundown of a BBEG. Just remember that your players are going to have to either encounter this person thing before at some point during the game, because there's going to be a reason why they go after him or her or it or they, them, because it could literally be more than, it could be a whole cult, it could be a coven of witches, it could be trolls or a troll master that has trolls. It could
A
be
bandit captain.
Yeah, it could be a bandit captain. Yeah, that grows to power by collecting an artifact that you guys beat his ass and his friends up, but didn't kill him. And ever since then, he's been pissed off at you the rest of the campaign. And he goes and finds an artifact to make himself super powerful and says, "I'm going back after that party, and I'm going to show them who's boss now."
There's always the bounty, putting a bounty on a character's head if they like do something. I've always loved that trope, because then they're like, "Oh, who put a bounty on me?" And then they think of all the people they've wronged, and that list becomes pages.
Yep.
Because then it's like, all right, figure out who put this bounty on you, and then I don't have to do any work.
Yeah, you wait for them to figure out. Oh, well, it could have been this guy, or it could have been that.
You're sitting there just
that
going,
demon that we stole from, and you're like, okay, there's another bad guy I could use. Oh, that's a different one that they want to go after.
That's usually my DM tell. If I have my right hand on my face and you can't see my left hand, I'm probably writing something down for later, because either you gave me an idea or I'm gonna stow that for my villain.
So yeah, I don't think I've given any info to you guys for our cooking campaign.
Well, it started off as a cooking campaign. Let's be serious. That was the best opening to a campaign. Like, it's still my favorite one because it had a little bit of the trope. You guys are all in like a mess hall, like a bar, if you will. But you're all pulled out for a TV show, and I was like, okay.
You all had different jobs too, so you wouldn't have run into each other any other way.
But no, like, we've kind of made our own bad guys, technically. And then we've, as players do, say, to hell with your plot with these goblins who are trying to run a TV show, and we're just going to let them die. Yeah, no, I like not knowing yet. I assume what's ever going on with Vandal's character is going to be an overarching thing, but I assumed with each new town, we're going to meet more of these grandmothers or grandfathers, if I remember the terms. It's been a very long time since we were at the table. But yeah, the Pashas, I don't know. I'm excited. There's a lot of not known in that campaign that's excites me, because I've helped you make a little bit of where I've come from, but I, as the character, have no idea.
Right. That's what I'm going for. I'm going to make it, I want to make it more of a, like, oh no moment, like a holy crap, I can't believe it moment.
Right.
So I haven't really given you much to go with there, I guess, is the best way to put it. So I've had fun building it, and at first I really didn't know who the big bad was going to be. I think I finally have a grasp on it, but at first I had no idea. I was just hoping that I could string you along for a little while and figure out who you upset and who you find to be evil to you guys, not to who I think the evil guy is.
Anyone who's asking a favor from 2 and is in a position of power is typically a bad person in 2's eyes, because 2's just you'll ask me to do something and I'll go, why? What's in it for you? Why am I doing this? I know you're going to pay me, but why am I doing this?
Let's talk about a few ways that you can kind of create a big bad for your game.
Okay.
Not necessarily for a story, but like actually coming up with how
so are we making a campaign? Like, well, it depends. It would depend on the session. If this is going to be a long stretch of time, or if this is going to be a one shot. If it's a one shot, I'm probably going to do something. I'm going to pull from the book, but I'm going to skin it differently, depending on people's level. So the action economy is still right. But if it's a campaign, I'll probably have like some tiny little insignia on like a slew of enemies. And then kind of figure it out as I go along on how the characters are, because I had a really cool idea for a campaign bad guy, but it would require a character to be lawful good. So, and use a piercing weapon, because that's the only way you can damage it. Oh, you're gonna come over here and you're gonna talk over here. Yeah. Oh well.
So now we have joining us our first ever guest, Buzzrab. It's okay. You don't have to be sorry.
Okay.
We have our first. Your perfect timing for our first guest, Buzzrab.
This is the first time she's like fully on a stream and like sitting here and having.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm really low.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'll move over some more.
I'm an adult woman. I can handle it.
Nice.
No, I can't. I'm rolling away. We have uneven floors.
So everybody, welcome Beth to the stream / podcast. She goes as @yourproblem_now on Twitter. So if you're looking to call her out about her stuff,
Twitter.
if you want to call her out on her on what she says, go for it. She's not going to respond to you because she's barely used to it.
Yep.
I just posted on Twitter on Thursday
What'd you post?
It was about Critical Role.
There it is. How many times have you watched Critical Role? The first season.
Wait, I would say which
the first campaign. How many times have you watched?
Campaign 1, I watched through completely twice.
Watched through completely twice.
That's
how many times?
So much content.
How many times have you watched the second campaign? How many times have you caught up?
I just recently got to my second time watching the second campaign as well. I like D&D and nerdy ass voice actors. What can I say?
Well, there's also the thing where
I like no variety of D&D, just this one kind.
I was gonna say you haven't really given anything else a chance.
I knew you were gonna give me shit for that. That's why I said it.
You don't get to hear her telling Matt that no, you can't do that.
Yeah, that's not the rule, Matt.
It's the fun. Like I'll be sitting here, I'll be typing something. Like, nope, and she'll call out the spell. I'm like, what is she? Oh, she's watching Critical Role.
You'll hate any other podcast or show then, because none of the rules are followed in all of the ones that I've told you to listen to.
There's a reason. There's a reason why she hasn't tried other ones.
There's also a reason why they call them guidelines and not rules.
Bingo.
No comment.
Well, we want your comment because we're here to talk about DMing, and you DM'd for me, and we kind of want a different perspective on talking D&D. And so tell me why you have no comment on the rules being guidelines.
This is a general statement about life for me. I strongly believe in the rules. I believe in the rules. I'm the kind of person who, if I see someone not put a grocery cart back, I'm going to lose my mind. So that carries over into D&D, where it's very rule-based, and I'm a really structured, rule-based person. So that is important to me. And so when something is, of course, I feel like it's open to interpretation sometimes too. So what someone might interpret as the read is written rule, I might interpret it differently.
How about when a level 20 wizard dimension doors themselves and a dragon?
Can't do that. Can't do that. Dragon's bigger than you. Can't dimension door a dragon.
It happened.
If the dragon casts dimension door, that's fine.
What if your energy mana level is powerful enough to bring a larger beast with you?
Yeah, I can see. I'm sorry.
It's not what the spell says.
Could a big bad do it?
Size of you or smaller.
Would you let your big bad do it?
I would not let my big bag do it. You know why?
See?
Because it's not fair. If I wouldn't let my players do it, I certainly wouldn't let the BBEG do it.
That's right.
But I feel like sometimes you have a little wiggle room with that for the big bad guy, because he's supposed to be a badass. He's supposed to be better than you, period. So you're supposed to want to get better. He's supposed to make you want to get better so you can beat him.
Shaggy, I was riding the dragon, and it was a dragon war. So theoretically, it could be done, but not in this case scenario. I literally wanted to see what I could get away with, and I did, and it was amazing because she was so mad.
So mad. Points for fun, I guess.
From a dungeon master's perspective, since we're talking about the dungeon master, I was the dungeon master then, and I wanted the story to move on. And for this to happen, it made the story kind of continue. It was all made up on spot. It was all improv, basically, because I had a basic overlying story for this. But you guys were level 20 characters fighting against Tiamat at full strength. It was called the Dragon Wars. It was the good dragons versus the bad dragons. We needed to get away with some stuff, and it was supposed to be the history, so anything was possible. Remember at the beginning of the session, I said, you are level 20 characters, try to get away with anything. And
what's my character?
You were a ranger.
I was a ranger. I couldn't remember. I was a male ranger.
Yep, because I was a female wizard, and
it was the Silver Rider. That's who I was.
That's right.
That was a cool name. It's like,
they didn't. I really based a lot of what you were off of Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. He was the Strider. They didn't give him the name. They didn't want to tell. He never gave his real name out. So you were the Silver Rider. That was it.
And then later on, he had 30 names.
Yep, exactly. So I have a few questions for you. But Patch, do you have anything for Beth first? Do you want to ask her anything?
You ask questions first. I live with her.
Okay.
I might know some of the answers.
All right. From your point of view, what do you need to know as a dungeon master? What do you need to know?
What I would personally tell myself if I was going to DM a game again, and you're using a book, do not rely on the book as heavily as you think you need to. I think that's what tripped me up a lot, to be honest with you, was trying to adhere to the rules of this book again with the rules. And I think that was really, it would have been really important, to know that kind of going into it. Guess what? Yeah, that's how they wrote it, but I'm in charge. I can change it.
Yep.
Right. Patch, do you have anything you want to add to
that? For questions or just in general?
Well, in general, to that question, I asked her.
Tomb of Annihilation. I took basic plot lines like you're all gonna die if you don't do it, and then I put my own little spin. Like, how was I gonna make Kevin mark out? Let's put Salida as the Green Arrow and save Griff from his stupid choice, and it worked. And you believed her. And then I terrorized you guys with the night hags that are supposed to stay in the tomb. And it was fun because
was it a coven?
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, they had little dolls and everything that they were little kids. Good. It's great.
They're so much more powerful when there's more than one.
Sure is. DMing, I mean, make stuff up on the fly. Like for BBEGs, if your players can do it, you can do it too. Like if they're gonna take one of your dudes captive, send a high-level mercenaries out to send them, take one of them captive.
Counterspell.
There you go. Yeah.
Counterspell.
Big bads can counterspell too.
Yep.
They should too. I feel like it's a really underutilized thing, in a DM's world. I feel like it happened once to me. You had a character, when you were DMing, and I was casting, I remember this, a 5th level cure wounds. No, a 5th level mass cure wounds, and I was like, this is gonna be sick, and everyone's gonna get hit points, and I think somebody was down too. Like, it was really important. I remember it being important, and it got counterspelled, and I was so mad. So mad. And I'm like, you know what? I do it to you all the time.
It was Grotst. It was the Demon Lord.
It was you guys, Crown of Madness fight.
It was the Crown of Madness fight where Vandal couldn't make a wisdom saving throw because it had Sanctuary on itself. And I just stood there and I laughed. Because I was like, I'm just going to counterspell all your stuff. Bye. I can do this at will.
It was frustrating. So the next time I went to cast it, I made sure I was more than 60 feet away from you, so you couldn't do that. I was like, that's cute.
Yep.
So I guess continuing along the lines with you saying that you should have taken more out of the book and wrote it like up your own. Would you prefer running your own homebrew over a book, or would you rather having that book as guidelines to make your?
I think it depends on the adventure, but if I was going to run another campaign, I'd probably want to write it because I feel like I would have more leeway, like automatically. It wouldn't be like, especially with maybe a player who maybe has done that module before. Like, you don't want to be like, well, my last DM was better than you. Like,
right?
Don't play. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of more fun too when it's homebrew because you don't know what to expect, and there is no way for your players to like cheat and figure out what's really happening. Not that I think anyone would, but it's kind
no one read the book ahead of time as I like turned my gaze over to.
You finished that campaign, and then I heard the ending. All right.
You read every book when it comes out, and I have to tell you, I have to be like, okay, I'm gonna run this campaign. Don't fucking read that book.
Still haven't read Dragon Heist.
I know because I'm gonna run it eventually.
I have not.
See, there we go. There's one. Ghost of Saltmarsh. I would love to do a freaking piratey.
I haven't.
Campaign. Let's be on the sea. Throw some weather at you. Yeah, that'd be fun.
You should totally put something together.
Homebrew's hard. If you let your players roll for their stats and you're a very inexperienced DM, as we were, as all three of us were when it happened, because when we made Tonanaz and then I swapped over, I was like, all right, even when I gave you guys feats, which we'll be talking about next week, it was very difficult at the beginning. And then towards the break that I took, I literally went, well, let's see what I can throw at them and not have them die. Because that's the very big question. Can I kill them? It's got stats. They'll kill it. But will I kill them first is the question.
Right. We talked about, Beth, how you your style's kind of by the book, I guess, like rules oriented.
Told you.
With that, I guess that would be your DM style. But what kind of campaign would you run next? Like if you homebrewed it?
I so want to do a Legend of Zelda campaign. I would friggin' love just puzzles up the butt. Like, let's go. Dungeon crawl, and you got to get these things. I don't know. I'd have to figure it out, but that's where
That's
always
like the
wanted to
first
do
thing.
that. Yeah, and I wanted to do it for my friends that don't play D&D. I wanted to try to run something like that. I actually had plans to do it for my birthday, and then COVID-19 was like,
Nope.
no. So, but that's something I would love to do. I think it'd be really fun. But then it's like I'd feel bad just running it for my friends who never played, because then my friends that do play, maybe that's something you'd be interested in. I don't know. You like Legend of Zelda, so maybe you'd like to play. I don't know.
I don't even care what the game's about. I want to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Sorry, what? Yeah, I mean, could you just show off flex that shirt real quick?
Can we just play D&D?
There it is, right there. Yeah, see?
It's backwards on stream because my Logitech wasn't working, but no, I'd totally play. I enjoyed having you as a DM. The way that it came about wasn't great.
Sorry.
But at first I wasn't really as into it as I should have been because I was still kind of salty. But by like the third or fourth session, I was really kind of starting to enjoy playing my character, and you DMing made it a lot easier for me to get into it more. I don't know. I feel like you let us get away with a lot of stuff if we gave you good explanations, and
yeah.
I think
and it was within the rule set too. I mean, I was looking at these. I wasn't just like, yeah, sure, do whatever you want, but I did kind of give you guys a couple things, like, you weren't really supposed to be able to just stay at that inn all the time, but I liked the innkeeper, and she liked you, and I was like, yeah, okay.
They built rapport.
Yeah.
Why not?
and they were the only people we really talked to.
Yeah, they always had food for you, and
so
frankly, I love food, so when I get to be like, here's some food that I didn't actually make, but I made it.
That was the moment I was so mad that you were like, oh, I need to take a break, and it was because of another player who made experiences a little difficult for some people. But the fact that we were on a cooking show and Beth wasn't there, and this is at the height of her watching like Kitchen Nightmares, Greatest Bake, the GBAC or GBBC or whatever it's called. I was sitting there. I'm like, I'm playing Warforged with no palate, not even a mouth, for Christ's sakes. And in real life, I'm dating this person who loves to bake. And she's not even here to flex. Like, if she was Ellie during that would have been the best thing ever.
Nope.
Do you remember, Beth? I said you're gonna like this one. I'm gonna. I said this one. The beginning of this campaign is going to interest you a lot. And you're like, I just want to take a break. I'm like, all right, no problem. But you're always welcome to come and join whenever you want. And I'm sure Patch went home like the first week. Was like, guess what? We're in the Bake Off campaign.
Oh, absolutely.
Wasn't you? You actually shared a little bit of it with me beforehand too. You were like, "This is what I'm doing," and I was like, "It's cool."
Cool. I wish I didn't say I was gonna take a break.
Well, but part of it was because I'm in school right now, trying to get a degree to be like, CEO of a hospital and stuff. But not really, but And
Never
basically, it was getting to be like, I'm doing school, I'm doing work, also I was really, really frustrated with a player. I was like, I'm gonna punch him in the head, so I need to leave. I wasn't willing to be like, kick him out or I leave. I was like, I'll just step away for now. So
yeah, recognizing,
it is what it is, man. And then
it worked out.
I ended up leaving anyways.
That stuff happens too in D&D. Some players just don't click with the group, and you got to kind of work with that and move on, I guess. So that's part of
zero is important.
Yeah. So I have one more question, but Patch, do you have anything you want to ask before I ask my final question?
If you were to be gifted the Critical Role source books, would you run an actual rules-based and correct every single one of Matt Mercer's flaws in his campaigns? The one tiny ones, that her little rules lawyering that I hear, would you do it?
First of all, I would like to preface my answer with it's not Matt I'm correcting, it's his players who are like, oh, let me cast Prayer of Healing as an action. Fuck you, it takes 10 minutes, so you can't do that in a battle, but okay. Those little things. Those are the things that bother me, is like, read your spells. Read your spell, man. You know, that's player's responsibility. I don't feel like that should be on the DM to have to keep track of that too.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So that's where I get frustrated. And I'm sorry. Talk with my hands. But what was the question?
If you were given the Critical Role source material, would you run a Critical Role campaign? A Matt Mercer set campaign, essentially.
Honestly, I probably would. I would give it a try because I've watched, I mean, let's be honest, how many times have I watched them? I probably already know the source material. I probably could do it without the books. But yeah, I mean,
Hi, Umlau.
He makes some pretty cool monsters. Like, some of the stuff that he throws at his players, you know those are not from a DMG. Those are DMG. Monster Manual, that's what I meant.
Those are from the brain.
DM? No. No. But yeah, I think I would. That'd be really fun, honestly. Especially like the Wildmount campaign guide. There's a lot of neat stuff in there.
I've read the Tailed Berry one. All the items are cool. The feats that he's got are cool. I've heard about the Wildmount one with its Dunamancy, the whole magic.
Got the Blood Cleric, which I am obsessed with right now. Blood Cleric is very cool.
One of the best books I've ever read for D&D store stuff. Everyone who's played a few standard campaigns should definitely have a crack at it. E.g., Wildmount. Explorer's Guide to Wildmount. I was like, acronyms.
I believe it. Yeah.
So now you're saying that he's created some cool monsters, and now when you homebrew, would you use the monster manual to keep your monsters from in the book, or would you make your own monsters created from like the DM's guide?
Or would you do the dirty DM tactic that I like to do?
I have revamped, when we did Curse of Strahd, and when I ran Curse of Strahd, I did revamp some monsters a little bit. You guys were kind of OP. So in the final fight, I actually gave Strahd, I buffed him up a little bit and gave him a little more, just so you wouldn't kill him in like 2 rounds. But when, spoilers, when, what was your character's name when you died?
Wolfgang, Dimitri von Hammersmark. That's what it's his name.
Yeah, you guys were fighting a, oh my God, what was it?
Which one?
It was not a golem, but for the life of me, I can't think about it.
You're fighting something.
Well, and I basically gave it the ability to, it was a suit, okay, it was animated armor, that's what it was. And I gave it the ability to grapple by eating a character. I just thought that was terrifying.
That scared the shit out of me.
And he wasn't expecting it.
Well, no, let's be real. I was like, someone has to die, and I've died in fucking Ravenloft every time, and I'm OP. Yeah. I want to die.
Nope.
And then when she ate me, I was like, oh, okay, I know for a fact that as a player, that's not a thing. That's not a thing, but that's fucking cool. Why didn't I do that?
Well, and I had it set so if they did a certain amount of damage in a round, it would throw you back up, too. And I got that from watching Critical Role's Kraken fight.
Nice. There you go.
I think that's something the Kraken does.
Spoilers. Sorry.
Well, they also isn't the Frog-He-Myth, doesn't that swallow things and throw them up, too? I think so, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, but in my head, that's where I think I was. I don't know.
Yeah, that's where you were, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's cool, especially if you know your players' levels and what they're capable of, and what, you can kind of predict what they're going to do. Like, I'm sure you know in a fight what most of us are going to do when we do it.
Yes, I've gotten to that point where I don't study your characters, basically, but I study the way you play them. So it's not like I have, like, every little ounce of like stats for every one of your characters in front of me. I watch how you guys play together, and I noticed that like Knocker's character is always ready to go and fight. So
which one?
All of them.
Okay.
Every character he's made has been a run into the fight kind of character. So why not have him go over and look at some statues and touch one? Because he's going to be the first one to go over there and do it.
Didn't even make an investigation check. Didn't even try.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I knew one of your characters would go over to it. Patch's character would go over to it and hit it because he'd go, fuck statues, after what you did to me as Barondir 3-4 years ago. So, so that stuff, that's the stuff that you have to kind of keep remembering.
Hey, me and Dalamar pulled that whole suit of armor off that thing, and we only froze to death a couple times, all right?
That's so true. Oh yeah, and then there's a little well that you can of water. I'll drink it. Oh great, you all feel refreshed. You all had a mini rest. You all get a short rest.
Bite the hand that feeds me.
Yeah.
Oh, I get a short rest. I'm going back for another drink. Okay, now you just lost all your life.
Yeah, Plurb touch things all the time too.
He did it it was 3 or 4 times. He almost died doing that. We were like, bro.
He kept thinking that, okay, well, the second time's bad, so the third time must be good. Oh, the third time was even worse. Maybe if I go for the fourth time, it'll respawn. Like a video game.
Weird, but it's usually...
How many times you cross a rickety bridge? One time. You never go back across it until you learn how to fly.
Well, also, when you're in a place called the Doom Vault, you're probably not supposed to be drinking anything in there.
I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah. I went in there with a wizard who had a little bit of health, and then I lost that little bit of health because I couldn't hold my breath any longer. Stupid
okay.
cat.
Last question for me, and this one is something that I'll never experience because I'm a man. What's it like as a woman playing Dungeons and Dragons and or DMing?
And
what have you noticed?
I think I'm one of the lucky ones. I play with a group of people that aren't douchebags. I don't think you guys treat me any different because I'm a girl, but I also feel like I could really take a joke, and often am throwing some pretty nasty shit out myself. So I don't know. For me, I don't feel like I'm facing any sort of, I don't want to say adversity, whatever, but I will say, when I've gone online, I've read the experiences of other women. I'm actually a part of a group called the Dames of D&D. And so it's a group for women to talk about D&D and throw ideas at each other. And it's a really fun group and a lot of really great people there. And the reason that the creator made it is because they were tired of getting, I hate to say this phrase because I don't always agree with it, but mansplained about the rules of D&D and how, you're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about, when a lot of the time, dude's wrong.
Right. 9 times out of 10, I refer to her on spells and shit.
I just have a brain for that sort of stuff. I like memorization. You know what I mean? So for me, it's, I don't know. I think the only thing for me as a girl that was really hard for me as a woman, not a girl, that was difficult for me was doing voices for male characters, because I don't really have that deep of a voice. I don't have like a super girly high pitched voice, but I always felt like I had to do this to like do these voices, and now I'm like, maybe I should just get a voice changer.
Before you say that, because it's still one of those voices that gets lodged into my brain. The voice you did for the mongrel folk in the Strahd, as soon as people realized it was Kevin from The Office, and I can't even do it that good, and I didn't realize it until I was talking with him. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing.
It was the perfect voice.
It was perfect.
Doing it.
Oh, come on, please. Damn it.
No, because I'd be like, now I get into my own head too much to try to do it. You know what I mean?
You hear me all the time. I say silly voices all the time. It doesn't even matter.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right.
You did a good Russian accent when you were trying to be from Barovia.
I tried.
It was pretty good. I can't do accents. I just change pitches, and I also change mannerisms, I guess. So that also helps. You don't necessarily have to do a man's voice. You can do mannerisms that a man would do that would kind of express the way you want to come across, I guess. All right, we have a question from the chat. Favorite kind of voice to play as a DM? He's a big fan of old people voices.
Yeah, he is.
Old people voices are fun because they're something that I can actually do pretty easily. What?
You were asked a question.
Oh, I like little kid voices. I think they're really cute and fun. Well, I'm just a little kid. I just want to play. Or, nah, I'm a creepy ghost. Play with me. I'm gonna possess you. Yay! Like that happened.
Yeah, it happened again.
I was also thinking of like the kids at that
Death House.
No, not the Death House. The Stitched Together kids.
Oh,
Together, kids.
that would be the dolls from Tomb of Annihilation. Are we talking about that?
No, I'm talking about Beth's campaign where we went to the guy that we went to talk to. He's like a high priest or something. He was like
the mongrel folk.
the abjunctor or something like that. His name was or something like that.
Yeah.
And then all the mongrels that you talked, you were like, oh yeah, you were like a bunch of them were kids. You said, and I was like, oh, this is creepy.
Yep. Little mongrel folk. They were all over the place. They had like animal parts and.
We've got another one. Beth, how did you get into D&D?
Critical Role.
And how long did it take you before you decided to DM? Well.
So I started watching Critical Role right around the time that Kevin talked about wanting to play D&D. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't think I'd be good at it. I don't want to play. And then I got more into Critical Role and I was like, oh, we'll play so bad. Like, it looked really fun. And then what was the other part? I'm not good at remembering things.
How long did it take before you decided to DM?
A couple years, right? I didn't DM until it was like 2 or 3 years, right?
I think so. I was thinking it was after the Tiamat campaign, and it was right during the middle of the Tonanaz one. So our first campaign was really Tonanaz, not the other one. But
yeah, 2018. That was the year that.
So yeah, and I think it was you were like, I'm gonna DM on Sundays after we're done with Tonanaz, and then we were like, Pat's like, I'm gonna take a break, and you were like, all right, I guess I'll DM now, and we're like, oh, okay, like we were like, oh, let's go, let's do it, and we just got into it.
Hindsight, I should have given a little bit more warning, but I was mentally dead with fucking heat and hot water calls and new systems to learn, and
that was when you're working third shift.
Yeah,
and it was like a really thankless job, so I can understand that. Like, I get being burnt out.
Yeah,
and it's probably easier to come to a game, still want to play D&D, but come to a game where you're not running that game.
Yeah, but I did see the prep that you put into it, so I mean. That's why I did give it my
often over a glass of prosecco the night before,
or hours before we would play.
Yeah.
as the Beth tradition.
I'm a procrastinator, very much so.
Does anyone have any other questions for Beth before we go to our break?
I got
now that I have like a follow-up, I guess, to the female thing. So you were saying you're like a girl, and then you're like, no, I'm a woman. And I was like, I didn't know how to ask that question because it's stuff nowadays is kind of like it's that stuff's kind of sensitive, and it's hard to find like the right way to ask questions like that without sounding like I'm trying to be a mansplaining something or like it's so what I wrote was I was about to write a girl playing D&D or a female playing D&D, so I was like, no, woman, she's a woman, like that's it. And so my question now is like, is that something that you see happening too, like not from in your game but like in that Facebook group that you're in, or seeing it online? Like, are you seeing like men trying to be oversensitive?
I think everyone has the capacity to be a shitty person. Let's throw that out there. I don't think that's gender specific. I think that some men, they do think that I know more. I know what I'm talking about because I'm a nerd, and this is how it's always been for me, and girls don't like these things, and whatever. But the truth is that a lot of women are super fucking nerdy. I am a super nerdy lady. I know a lot of weird, obscure things about a lot of things. So I feel like if you're going into a group of people and you genuinely want to learn, and then you have people that kind of crap on you for it, like maybe you make a mistake, and instead of them just saying, actually, here's the rule, they're like, you're a fucking idiot, or you're a noob, or whatever. Noob. Does anyone say that anymore?
Yeah.
I don't actually know.
New Master 69.
So I feel like that might push a lot of people away, especially women, away from wanting to play D&D or learning D&D. And I don't know. I just think that we should all be nice to each other, because we kind of live in a shitty environment right now.
What would your advice be to women that want to play D&D but have gone and had a bad experience and don't want to go back? What would you try to tell them?
I would say just try it with maybe people that you know. You'd be surprised who in your group of friends actually wants to try. Like my best friend of like pretty much since we were about 4 years old, so what, like 30 years?
Yeah.
She's very, very she's a she's not like that nerdy,
You're soon to be maid of honor.
Yeah, and she expressed interest in wanting to play, and that surprised me. I didn't expect that. So honestly, you'd be shocked who would want to play. And even then, you have like now there are so many like groups online, and some places have really good moderators and things like that where you don't run into those issues because they actually care. Like the group that I'm a part of, Dames of D&D. You're a woman, join it. It's amazing.
Camera's over there.
I know, but it's so confusing because I was looking at the chat though. Like, hey, ladies in the chat, if there are any, I'm not sure.
Red light.
But there's no red light. Oh, it's over there. You have to be over here to see the red light. See, the red light doesn't exist on this side.
Did you see? Yep. So look at the little.
So
There's
Just this big white light.
that's so you know.
My camera's here, and there's two white lights on it, but I'm looking over here at the computer screen to watch you, so I'm not looking at the right way. Hello, Tamina?
Tamina-tastic.
Hello.
That's a fantastic name.
I think I know who that is.
Welcome. So we're actually going to our first break in a second. Does anyone have anything else for Beth? I've enjoyed the conversation. It's been really good so far.
Well, also, I haven't seen you in forever, and it's nice to talk to you.
No, that's true. That's true. We have not seen each other in quite some time.
Yeah.
All right. Let's head to our first break. We'll be back in about 5.5 minutes. Mooches. All right, welcome back. Umlaut, it's all good. Well,
it's okay. She was late anyway because she was getting her hair did.
Yeah, you didn't miss much. It was just me and Patch talking at that point.
I promise you.
Sure.
All right, so let's see. We have our past experiences with the big bad. So who wants to start? Patch, you go first.
Oh, so you want me to go through the plethora of big bad evil guys? Oh, sure. So let's see. I ran Tomb of Annihilation. I didn't have Asarak as much because he's a lich and he does lich things. So why does he feel important for you guys? Overall, he had a plot to make the world die. Super cool. I like the James Bond evil genius plan. It's probably one of my favorite tropes in D&D and all general.
You mean like monologuing?
Oh, he didn't even monologue. He just power word killed the paladin and you're dead. Get out of here. And then continued to have a fight.
Classic.
I tweaked Demogorgon to suit my overpowered players on the Sunday campaign. Yeah. Almost cast Feeble Mind on her twice. But she had Bardic Inspiration and it worked. No, it was something.
Wasn't supposed to be able to use it.
Well, it happened. I'm a very loosey-goosey DM. Who was the big bad evil guy for that? Oh, Kador. Yeah. Kador was probably my favorite villain because he was your Crowley from Supernatural. He's your best friend until it suits him differently, and then I'm going to lock you in a snow globe because I hope my players don't try and push. And
But
2 of them did.
the thing about Kador that really like would push a player's buttons is that he was a player.
Yep.
So he was a character that was part of the initial party. So for him to like turn into the big bad is kind of a great turn for story, and I think we all knew it was coming beforehand.
Oh yeah.
And I think we put it together and said, fuck it, we're gonna take them on eventually, and we just continued on with what we wanted to do until that point came. And it wasn't one of those, oh shit, he's the big bad. It was like, oh, fucking Kador just slowly turning into the big douchebag throughout the whole campaign. And we're like, okay, this is gonna be where we end our game with him. I like where you tried to push us towards Vecna as the big bad, and we all kind of we took that path for like a little bit, but then we slowly converged back to the Kador path.
Yep.
But we were really close to just thinking that Vecna was the bad guy.
Yep. Sure was. What other campaigns did I run? Tomb of Annihilation, that was Asarak. I threw in Demogorgon on the Sunday campaign. I turned Grog evil. That was genius. You just your stupid friend working for a big bad guy, and go ahead and tell me not to.
I love Travis Willingham. He ruined it.
I don't care. I got a like on that tweet. I was like, I took Travis Willingham's Grog and made him evil. Brush my shoulders.
I just want to high five Travis. I feel like he'd be like the coolest dude to hang out and just like have a beer with.
Yeah, but you are the same as him. He's like this jockey guy that's also a huge freaking nerd. That's you. He's
a big football fan, isn't he?
You're also big scaredy cats.
And I believe he played football as well.
It's true. We are both big scaredy cats. He's a wicked baby like I am. Wimpy boys. Yep. Couple of wimpy boys.
What else did I have?
I didn't even think of that.
I've done so many one-shots. Like, I had Humakavula, which was some ridiculous Drider with a Lich. Which I made a Dalek, and I made a Borg, and that was so much fun. Like, making those, I was like, all right, how can I make a Borg? Okay, if you do 10 damage, it's gonna... As soon as you hit 10 damage, it's going to get resistance. If you hit another 10 damage, it's not going to take it.
Mm-hmm.
It's immune now. They've adapted. This was the PlayStation campaign. This was COVID D&D before COVID.
Yeah. This was long range D&D. We had to be able to play with our friends in the
UK, and we didn't want to do Skype. This is before everybody had a computer and we all had PlayStation. And I was like, I don't give a shit about what you can go ahead and tell me you rolled 18 natural 20s. As long as I can be silly and do my silly voices all at the same time, I'm perfectly fine with it.
You'd think he only does this when he plays. No, he does silly voices all day, every day.
It's fun when I'm on the phone, because then they come in and they get my full.
I really love him when I said yes. I'm kidding. It's amazing. I love your silly voices.
The Board Queen. That was a fit. Like, yeah, she was mean stats, because I knew you guys were kind of smart players. To me, almost got turned into a Borg. That was something that I didn't have on them beforehand, because they never got close. They were all casters and they stayed away, except for Bob and Zap, because Bob was a bodyguard and Zap was like, nah, you go do it.
Yeah, that's very much my MO. Caster. I like playing casters more than anything.
How was it playing Strahd?
Awesome, because he's a caster now. Yeah, so that's the only... Well, no, I will say...
I was going to say, you had other big bads in that campaign that we encountered.
Babalai Saga.
Yep.
Babalai Saga's friggin' hut. That thing was a beast. That was the best. And you happen to have... The reason I threw it at you so hard is because you happen to have a guest player that week. Remember, Knocker came and played with us.
Yep.
And he had a blast. And he told me... Remember, he was texting me the next day, like, that was so much fun. But... That was really fun. That was probably my favorite fight. That fight, and there's one that I made up with the Nightmare Horse and Strahd, where Strahd was invisible on top of the Nightmare, so you didn't know.
Oh, the tree.
No. It was you were fighting it was when the druids were they were casting like a spoilers. They were casting a spell. It was some kind of like ritual, and you didn't stop it in time, and Nightmare came into existence. The horse, Strahd's horse, who is a dick, by the way. And so I made it happen and nobody rolled high enough to know that he was there because he was very, very stealthed. He was invisible. And so it just so happened that once the Nightmare started flying around, Strahd was on top of him and he cast Fireball on your asses.
Yep.
Yay for greater invisibility! So that was fun. And then the Night Hags, that was fun.
Hags are great.
Yep.
Hags are the best villain.
Yeah. Although, going back to it now,
play it differently.
I would so play it differently. I, as a DM, took it really easily on you guys when I could have killed you more than once. And I think that was my biggest issue as a DM, is that I wanted you to succeed. I wasn't impartial enough,
But that's what you're supposed to do as a DM. If you want to be a good DM, you want your team to succeed. You want to put them into a lot of trouble, but you want them to succeed. And if you don't push those boundaries and figure out where the threshold is, then you're gonna feel like your party just shot all over every encounter that you've made. So if you can get that like happy medium where, hey, yeah, I downed two of the players, but they won that encounter, and they have to carry one of the bodies around with them to figure out if they can get a cleric to whatever, you know what I mean? That becomes story. So I can see where you're saying, because I definitely took it easy on you guys a bunch when we first started, because I had no idea what I was doing.
You got to play Tiamat.
Yes. So my big bad was Tiamat. That's the biggest bad I've had so far. But I'd like to talk about a few of the other smaller big bads that I used. The mini bads. So we had the whole Doom Vault and like the Sastam encounters, and then the very end, knowing that Sastam actually didn't encounter any of it, didn't start any of that, and you fought against the Demi-Lich at the end. Like, that was pretty cool.
That was the Tomb of Horror bait and switch. As soon as you did, I was like, "You son of a bitch, stupid Doom Vault."
That was such a rough fight.
And then you also had to do all the like actual like mirrors and stuff, whatever they were called, to make sure everything matched right. They had like the big sarcophaguses around. Let's see. I ran those one shots that we had for a bit during the PS4 things.
Yeah, you did.
But the one that sticks with me from the PS4 is actually I don't think we had a big bad because we flipped the script so fast in Vrist, because no one liked it. And that was the whole point. I think the big bad of Vrist was Vrist. Like, I told them in character as my character, like, hey, where I'm from, it's not good. And we were raised to be bad people. And that's why I was suppressed and put into a robot. And so when we went to Vrist, they were all like, this place sucks. Why does everyone want to kill us? And why does everything, like, they're just so mean to everybody? Everyone literally was like, no, fuck you. Like, hey, excuse me, can you tell me how to get to town? And they'd like kick dirt in your face and like push you away, like, get away from me. Like, that's what the world was like. So Vrist was the big bad, and it was pretty cool to like play off like just being a douche for a couple of days. Like, I just got to be mean to everybody during the game, and it was the whole point was they wanted to bring me there to figure out where I came from, and I was like, you don't want to go there. And we went there.
I remember because I snapped the stick over Zap's knee, and I got lucky, and I went to the Feywild, and then I was that dickhead half-orc who was just so like, yeah, I'm really good at this Blurns ball, but no, I don't think that's for me. You guys go have fun. And then I was a little I was a gnome rogue who literally would just turn invisible so people didn't see him, so he wouldn't have to deal with anybody. So that kind of said miles about it, and now that I'm playing in it and I'm 2, it's it's kind of fun.
Yeah, well, and I changed a lot in what we're doing now. I made it more toward coastish, where there's some communities and some cities that are going to be a lot nicer, and then you get to like Durham Falls, and you'll find that it's like the casino city. Like everyone's there to make a buck, and they're kind of seedy and gruesome. But there's going to be, you're going to run outside of town into one of the smaller plots and find out that this is like a nice gnomish community that's really nice. And like, so I made it a lot more habitable, I guess, so that my players weren't like, man, I can't wait to go to Vrist again tonight and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to get yelled at. Like, because I can just see, like, I could see it when we were playing the PS4 campaign, the way that cameras. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. No, I could feel it. I could feel the tension in everybody's voices, and when we were playing, everyone was like, oh yeah, we're all right. I guess we'll have to go to this town. Like they didn't want to go anywhere. They were like, well, let's just stay in the hotel so we don't have to go see people and be fucking belittled like assholes. So
right.
But I don't know. I think the big bad in the new campaign is going to really be a good one. I think you guys will enjoy that. But Tiamat was a lot of fun to play. And if you have a chance to run the Tiamat campaign, I'd recommend reading the books and just pulling off a few things from the books and continuing to homebrew all of it. Use Tiamat as she is in the book, because you do not need to homebrew her at all. She is an absolute masterpiece of a big bad. Like they created that block perfectly.
What's the CR of Tiamat?
30.
23.
Yeah. 23. No.
Wow. Oh no, sorry, 27.
Yeah, she's up there. She's not a Tarask, but she's a flying 5-headed dragon queen.
Pretty sure it's 27.
Smartest thing we did in that, or smartest thing I did at least in that fight, was 2 things. Before the fight, Hero's Feast.
Yep.
Totally negated that greenhead's freaking poison damage. That was amazing. Second best thing, waited till the second half of that fight to cast my 9th level healing spell.
Yep.
Mass healing, I think it's called. I don't know. It's that big healing spell.
Yeah, mass heal. Mass
heal.
Heal wound.
It's just mass heal.
I think it's just mass healing.
Yeah.
Or mass heal.
Yeah.
But it's something like 700 hit points divided between all the characters you can see. It was nuts.
Yeah, there's because I remember I had to pull out a healing spell as Aesop, Barondir. It was 70. Beth, you have more fun writing a BBEG or running a pre-written BBEG in your experience? I love writing them, but goddamn, it's work.
I've never written one, so I feel like I would enjoy that. I actually really like writing. I write a lot in my spare time. And it's a hobby that I've had, so I think I would probably like that more, to be honest with you. I just haven't done it. That being said, when I ran Curse of Strahd, I actually read this book called I Strahd, which was really good, and it definitely helped me get kind of insight into who he was. Because that's what I wanted to do, was I didn't just want him to be this big bad guy, which that's what he was. I also wanted to know, like, I tried to get into his head, you know what I mean? Like, I did a lot of acting when I was younger, so I was just trying to do the same thing in that moment, researching the role, basically. And then I also watched
Bram Stoker.
Yeah, I watched the Dracula movie with Gary Oldman as Dracula.
Yeah, Bram Stoker's Dracula
too. I think given the choice, I'd rather write it. Yeah, I'd rather write it, and it would probably end up being like Ganondorf, because I love Legend of Zelda. So there you go.
Not Ganon.
No, Ganondorf.
Okay.
All right, quick thing. I want to say thank you for the follows to Dillies and to It's a Secret. And so with that, I'm going to leave this spot open so we can edit it out for the podcast. But I'm going to play the alert.
Hi.
We'll see it. We won't hear it unless we do. Oh, they hear it. So another question: are we done talking about past experiences?
I wanted to talk about one more that I have.
Sure.
Well, it's like a bunch that I put together for our Christmas D&D specials. So the first year of the Christmas special, I run like a 1 to 1.5 hour D&D for all of the men that come over to, and women if they wanted to play, but they're all too busy dancing and drinking upstairs. I don't know what they do upstairs while they're drinking.
Each other's hair.
Yeah. So my wife has a Christmas party every year with all the women that she works with. Well, basically everyone at her work, and they all come over. And I said, "Why don't you start letting the husbands and boyfriends come over, the significant others, and we'll all hang out while you guys do your gift exchanges and drinking and partying." And so we decided to make a D&D game for all of the... It started as all of the men, but I'm pretty sure women are going to be joining shortly. In the next couple of years, there'll definitely be a few women playing the game instead of drinking upstairs. So the first year I had... It was a Christmas special, so I did... They fought the Grinch and his dog. They fought... Then they fought they fought elves too. The elves had little candy canes that they sharpened to a point by going, and then they'd stab you.
So
because of that, one of them actually had a magical belt that created the candy canes. So like it's like a dagger belt instead, but it's just candy canes. So one of our rogues has the belt, so they just toss candy canes at people now. The next year they fought. They decided to go after Santa, because Santa showed up and destroyed them. It was like, fuck you guys. He was like an absolute beast. He takes his red jacket off and he's just like fucking ripped. And he just knocks them all out, leaves them in the fucking snow, and leaves after burning half the city down. And they all like get up, wake up, and they're all like, fuck this, we're going after Santa Claus. So they all started going north to the North Pole as a party. So there's like 6 or 7 of them going north, and they keep meeting people as they go that are also mad about Santa. So anytime someone new joins, it's just another traveling party that's going north to fight Santa. So they fought the Abominable Snowman. They fought all of the reindeer, and Rudolph was the big bad at the end of that year.
Fun.
And slowly they're getting further and closer to Santa Claus as the big bad. So it's been really funny, and that's been a really good one.
As soon as you said swole Santa, all I could picture was the Santa from the Buy Me Bone Storm or Go to Hell Simpsons. Like he's just
yes,
ripped.
Exactly. Yep. I was thinking the one from Adult Swim, Robot Chicken.
So you said Rudolph he was your bad guy. There is a song it's a band called Psycho Stick. It's a metal band, but it's like metal comedy. And they put out a Christmas album one year, and there's one song called Red Snow, which is basically about Rudolph, like, I'm gonna kill you. Like, it's really good. So that made me think of that when you said it, and I was like, that'd be perfect to just play in the background. Like,
it would have been good if I had done that. Yeah, I definitely would have had that. Like, I pictured it when they fought all of the regular reindeer, the other ones. They saw a light just flash, in the background of the barn, big red light.
cool.
I could picture just be like, dun, 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 dun.
What advice would you give someone looking to get into D&D? Also, what corner of the internet is good to look at for noob D&D folks? As I think we stated earlier, ask your friends. You'd be surprised how many of them want to play D&D and who have already played D&D and would love to get more people into D&D. This man over here, let me know if I'm pointing the right way. I gotta wait for myself.
Nope.
No, this way. There you go. All right, cool. And I mean, what advice?
I think the best thing to do is listen to podcasts, watch people play it. You want to learn the game, learn from people that know how to play it without having to read books and study all these spells and study all the little rules as written, because all of the stuff that I learned about D&D before I started playing was from podcasts. I got into Critical Role because Beth told me about it. But before that, I was listening to the Adventure Zone. Acquisitions Inc. was a huge one.
Can I just get a green flame?
Green flame. So
There we go.
if you're looking, there's a lot of good podcasts that teach you D&D. So yeah, this one of them.
Geek and Sundry put a good one out too. When Critical Role was still new, because when they were new, they were actually coming over from Pathfinder,
right?
5th edition. So they actually had like people on their crew at the time jump in and start. It was like I think a couple of one shots, and it was like a learn as you go kind of thing. And so I would recommend something like that. Plus they have Handbook Helper, and then if you're interested in DMing, they have DM tips, GM tips, which started with Mercer and continued on with Satine Phoenix, who is a fantastic female DM.
And we rated her last week.
Sure did.
We rated her and her boyfriend or husband.
Yep.
They were playing D&D together. Couples D&D.
She has a voice I could listen to forever. I don't know why, but
some of the times she says some things that I'm like, that was weird to me, but I go with it. Because yes, you're right. Her voice is really nice. I think, Fuzz, you can also, like I said, some of the podcasts that teach you how to play D&D, there's a few that actually play the game, like Beth was saying, where they actually stop and tell you what they're doing and why they're doing it in some podcasts. The very beginning of Adventure Zone, they have 2 episode 1. The first episode 1 is them learning the game because they literally have no idea how to play it either. And only Griffin, the DM, has like a grasp on 60% of the game. So the other 40% is them learning during that podcast. Their other episode 1, which is just a cut down version of episode 1 to make it quick for people that want to re-listen and not have to listen to them talk about rules and why they're doing it and background story stuff. And that really is pretty cool. BBEG, what does it stand for?
Big Bad Evil Guy, Big Bad Endgame, or Big Bad End Go, as we just established.
Everybody go. Everybody go.
Big Bad, everybody go.
Yeah, Big Bad Endgame is basic most of the time. That's the big bad person you're going to fight. The big bad evil guy at the end of the game.
And the first part of that question is put as much into it as you want to get out of it, Fuzz. If you want to have a great experience, put all that RPG skills that you have. If you're not a solid role player, I mean, you'll be playing hopefully with some people who might have you come out of your shell.
Honestly, if you're not a solid role player, play yourself.
Yep.
I mean, you can literally make your character have your personality. It's so much easier. And so then when you go on to play again, you might branch out and be like, all right, and this time I'm going to be totally different. Like, because I feel like when I played my first character that I played, I'm pretty sure it was just me because she was sarcastic as hell. Like,
sassy. So sassy.
You know, but then I went on and I played a very motherly cleric. And now I'm playing a really nice, sweet druid who is definitely not my personality at all. So, you know, you just kind of grow into it. And I feel like you get a little more comfortable with it as you play with people that even if you don't know them. Like, you know, the more you play with people, the easier it gets. And it's, especially we're all doing the same thing. There's no reason to feel foolish.
Think of it as like a new job. When you go into your new job, you're like, I have to be here for however long, and I'm going to make what I can out of it, but I don't know any of these people. And then a month later, you are all working, figuring it out. You figured it out, and you're not thinking about how awkward it was that first day. You're just doing your job, and everyone is like, "Oh, hey, how's it going today? Good, great, thanks." And it's not. It really makes it easier as you kind of go on. And if you're with friends already, it's going to be so much easier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you already enjoy spending time together. I hope.
Yes.
Is this being done tabletop or online? I'm not sure what that question.
I'm assuming if you're referring to us playing D&D, that does not happen yet. That is a preconceived notion in my brain. I just gotta work up the courage and the overlays and the thought process to do it.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Playing D&D on this channel.
Oh, fun!
Yeah.
We're gonna try to figure it out eventually. It's gonna be a slow process as we go. So eventually, if you want to keep an eye out, we'll probably get to it eventually.
The best way to do that is to tell all your friends about this podcast, have them listen to it as well, because then we'll get off our asses and do it quicker.
And I think the best thing about role-playing and like role-playing games is like making a funny situation that your character genuinely like doesn't find funny. It's not a funny thing, but it's funny to you as a person. Like that's my favorite thing to do when I role-play. But anyways.
I want to follow up on Fuzzrab's question. A good place to find stuff like corner of the internet for noob D&D folks. Like, I think YouTube is probably
your best bet.
The best for any of the stuff that you're looking for. If you're looking for like the books and that kind of stuff, the source material, you can get a lot of the basic stuff from D&D online.com or whatever it is, dnd.com.
D&D Beyond.
And then they also have the apps, D&D Beyond and the Fight Club apps and those things where if you're looking to make characters and try to make characters like that, you can download the PDFs and you can also get those apps and you can download books from the apps. I'm a book. I like the physical copy. I like to have the hard copy in hand. I like to have my character sheets on paper. And I only really use the apps for spells to look them up quicker because it's hard to find them in the books. But you can buy the spell cards as well. I'd recommend taking a walk or a drive, depending on how far it is, to your closest local game shop, your friendly neighborhood game shop, and participating in buying stuff from them. They're the ones that are hurting right now because of everything going on, and maybe you could even find that if they have a internet like website that they could sell you from, or Facebook where you could call and order a book and have them mail it to you, because Amazon, you can get the books for a little cheaper, but that local game store will be shutting down if they don't get the people buying miniatures and magic and
fun fact, Amazon gets a piece of your soul every time you shop there. So
don't get me wrong, I love my fucking Amazon Prime. I love getting my stuff in 2 days, but I'd rather go down to the local game shop and grab the new book rather than buying
there's actually a game shop here in the Mills, and I went there one time on Black Friday with Knocker, and we ended up staying and talking to the owner for like an hour and a half. The guy was the coolest. He was a huge nerd. Amazing.
I follow him on Facebook. I just haven't been over there yet.
Yeah, he will talk your ear off about anything. He was telling me about Gloomhaven, which I had never heard of, and it makes me want to play it really bad.
Oh, that's
pretty cool.
Jeff Bezos is secretly Asarak's latest phylactery. That broke me. It's a secret. All of us are Mainers. We're actually all in the same town right now. Fuzzrab I would get, but they're closed due to COVID over here. Signed up to their internet page and definitely will buy for them when I get stuff. Even if get some dice, they make clickety clackety sounds. It's an addiction once you get into it. But
covered her face.
Yeah. Play D&D. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a secret. This is not. It's actually a podcast that we're filming on Twitch, where we bring a topic each week and try to talk about it as much as we can and get as much out of it. But we actually brought a special guest this week, so that's why Beth is here. So she'll be. She's given us her insights on some stuff. So here we go. There's a question. How many sets of dice do you own? I own probably 7 sets. I probably have I want to say 100 to 150 dice all together.
Okay.
Patch, how many sets of dice do you have, Patch?
14. I counted recently. Someone got a bunch of bags.
You definitely have more than me.
Yeah. Well, wait. Do you think I have? Yes, I do have more than you. How many do you have, Beth?
First of all, you only have that many because I buy you sets of dice that I
Exactly.
see that I go, oh, Aaron would really like these, thinking Aaron's a dice goblin like I am. He's not. Shiny click clack rocks. That's my thing. I have 38, 39 sets of dice and over 300 dice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like dice, and I like my dice to match my characters, which is why I keep buying dice. Like, I like my dice to... I have these really awesome... I literally have a set of D6s for fireball damage. That's it. That's all I use them for. I only use them to roll fireball damage. Not fire damage, fireball damage.
36. 36 umlau.
Some people do drugs.
Drugs or dice?
Drugs.
Dice or
Her drugs or dice.
Her drug is dice.
I'm not ashamed of it.
Nope.
It makes me happy. I'm a material girl in a material world.
That's
As
so
long as it's
funny.
clickety clacks, she's good.
Yep. And some of them are gemstones. Those are the ones that I am like, oh my god, I love
6
these.
miniatures. Yeah, I don't want to talk about my miniatures. That's
Oh
a
yeah,
different story.
miniatures are a little different.
Yeah, I'm a DM.
I have 6 in front of me right now.
Hold on, let me knock on my miniatures. They're all in there.
How can we
Yeah,
get in
they're
here?
all in the tiny, cabinet with a
I got
glass.
I got 2 plastic ones that are half painted over here. I have a Minsk over here that's half painted. I got a bunch that are I've just got rid of, just peeled all the paint off of. I'm indefinitely jealous. I thought my 15 sets were good numbers. I am literally ordering more right now. Yeah.
Dice Shop Online, that is where I order from. It's based in the UK. So I can't use my debit card because they always lock it. I did not get a credit card to buy dice. I
I
swear
was
to
gonna
God.
say she's ordering on her credit card now. BuzzRab. So basically, you have a separate room in the house for dice, Beth.
Yeah. Well, no, it's more like a chest.
Yes, it's actually really cool, but we won't
It's an
talk about
actual pirate chest.
No,
it. Oh.
she's upgraded from that.
Yeah, it's like a craft.
It's been
It's like a
bedazzled
big craft case
with more dice.
No, it's like a big. So it's a case you can get at Michael's. I got it at Michael's and it was on really, really cheap. And it has like little boxes inside of it that look like pencil cases. And I have my dice in there by color.
It's a tackle box.
Yeah, it's a tackle box for arts and crafts.
Yep.
It's a tackle box for dice. It's amazing. She showed it to me. I was like, oh man, let's watch her fill it up and have to buy another one.
I counted them all,
All
and
right.
I was like,
We gotta move on. We're getting way off track now. All right, we need to
Sorry.
create a big bad tonight. Let's create a big
All right.
bad.
So
Jeff
Tell-
Bezos. No.
Let's
yeah,
give us
Jeff Bezos.
let's give
Amazon.com.
give us a background on the story so far, Patch.
So we've traveled to Candlekeep as Carlin, met the sorcerer and the barbarian whose names escape me.
Quintilian Sumner and Jurgen Goblinsbane,
Correct.
That's the barbarian, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Yep.
She.
female dwarf.
Yep. They were leaving Candlekeep and they informed Carlin that she needed a book to get in, and they got the wrong book, so now they gotta go and get a new book. Yeah, I'm sorry, I was slipping into voice again. And then they made off towards the town that I don't remember again. And met Quan, the paladin.
Quan
Yep.
Quan Chow.
Quan Chow, and helped them. They assisted him in rescuing Throckmorton Dingleberry.
Nice.
And then they had a nice little bit of downtime. They got a little bit stronger. But I assume they're on their way back to Candlekeep with Throckmorton because he's a wizard and he's probably got a sack full of books, as most wizards do.
Right. They need the compass, though.
Yes, I think to start it off, because they just had an action, I kind of want to have. I always like that, like a Mr. Monopoly type bad guy, somebody who's like interested in the compass, who's got like the fancy monocle and the stupid like opera glasses that he holds on the other side. just because he's that much of a twat.
So you're
Yeah,
gonna play the guy that you made for our Stay on Brand storytelling.
Which one? Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yes.
So basically, we already created him.
Yes, I liked this voice. It was very foppish, and
Hate
this
it.
compass
Nope.
shall be
How-
mine.
How does he laugh?
This was me.
Eldritch Blast. I would have to shoot you immediately. I would not let that guy monologue. I would shoot him.
Oh my
Yes,
gosh!
that's the entire
Well,
purpose.
that's the point. Fireball.
Exactly. I'm beginning to talk fireball. I don't even want to hear none of it. I'm done. No.
Fine, I won't give you this wish spell.
Well, you do not know what the location of the compass's true meaning is.
Is there a cleric?
No.
Oh my gosh!
With that, sorry.
Nope.
No, we have a paladin instead of a cleric.
Exactly.
So yeah, they're looking for the platinum compass and the platinum map. Remember?
I'm sorry. So Umlau and I are friends on Facebook, and he's showing me the sets of dice that he is buying. One of them I think is the Percy dice, just because they're purple. Because I know they're not the Scanlan dice, because I have the Scanlan dice. And I think, are those the Keyleth ones?
Yep, I just bought those.
Yep, Beth has those dice. You might want to buy another set because she's already got it.
No.
I don't know. I'm just giving them shit. I'm just you just bought them. Yeah, she's making her way through season 1.
Take them away.
Dice twinsies.
If anyone watches Critical Role, you know.
Oh no, I didn't buy them. She bought them. She was gonna buy them for herself. She was like, "Oh,
And if you know the song.
Well, yeah, but no, they freaking do that every episode. You're like, dude.
But
And then they also go 9.
there. So this voice will be the antagonist to Colin's protagonist. I don't know what the voice's name is going to be. I feel there should be a title in front of it.
Duke.
Frederickstein.
You're just saying Percy's name.
Nope. Because I'm adding it to the end, and it's going to be something weird. The 5th. Oh, Baron. I like Baron
Baron is
better.
better.
Yes,
Baron is better than
Baron
Duke.
von Blah.
Nope, his first name is Baron.
Okay. Oh, Duke Baron von Bismarck. I like that. DVBD.
Makes you sound like pancakes.
Yes, I am the Duke Baron of Pancakes. Yes. This compass will point me in the true direction of the royal sap trees that will be mine.
So wait, what's the compass supposed to do?
It's the Jack Sparrow compass. It points to, if I remember,
It points to the platinum map, and then the
Yep.
platinum map is what we need to find to get to the
Find
book,
gods.
and
Yep.
then find the what thing. Yeah,
Duke Baron.
Duke Baron von Bismarck Frederickstein.
Yes.
Esquire.
Esquire.
We just keep. I feel like I'm a gnome on stilts with all of these names. Oh
You're-
my god!
No, the big bat is yes. We could do the gnomes or do you want to do? We could do the kobolds in a trench coat. We could do the
three
we could do
gnomes.
the goblins in a trench coat. Three smaller characters.
Bismarck is the bottom. Von is the middle, and Duke Baron is the top. That's why his name is like that.
Duke Baron is the top. Von Bismarck is the middle, and then Frederickstein Esquire is the bottom.
Yep. There we go.
God,
Could you imagine that big bad evil guy fight if they all have stats? Like the top ones, like a
They're all
wizard.
different. Yeah, they're all different classes.
That's such a dirty thing to do. That's like putting a fairy dragon in a suit of armor.
You wait for the wizard to magic missile him, and when he magic missiles him, the force knocks the middle one off, and so they all separate, and then you're like, shit.
What? With the proper paperwork in accordance, and it must be notarized and triple stamped, and then sent in by Raven, and then we will send an owl back to you to double notify it.
no, I hate you. Sorry.
I am the DMV of people.
Yeah, the DMV of people.
I wrote very good with words and contracts.
Yes. Yeah. So you can't demon deal his butt.
The middle two, you probably could.
Probably could. Yeah.
The top one, no. That's why he does the talking.
That's why he's the talker.
Exactly.
The middle one's the barbarian. The middle one's the barbarian. So anytime the you have to roll a d6 to see which one gets hit every time. So he's taking. You hit the middle one every time. He's taking half damage because.
Oh, that's so good. That's
the middle
so
one's
good.
the middle one's the arms.
Yep.
Think about it that way. So he can so if he's hitting you, he's getting rage damage.
I think the bottom one should be a rogue because they're fast.
Or a monk.
Yeah.
And then he can kick.
Yeah, he can kick.
So
there you go.
He's hitting with the axe. He's got two hand axes. He's kicking and hitting.
4 times. What is going on? What is this crap?
Yep.
Why did it just cast a fireball? How does this thing get 7 actions?
This is amazing.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, as a player, I would be flummoxed right now. I'd be like, what did you do? What have you done? Why are there 3 gnomes that are different classes in a trench coat?
And
why not?
You'd roll initiative for all 3 of them, so they'd all be opposite times during the round. So it'd be like, oh, and it's his turn again. You guys are like, wait, what the fuck? Oh, his turn again.
Like, yeah, you hope and pray that the monk, who's the feet, gets to go first. Because then you actually get to move up. Because the other 2 ain't moving nowhere.
And then he uses his bonus action to patient defense. So
I'm literally gonna go stat this after we're done because this is terribly amazing, and I want to have
3
this.
gnomes in a trench coat.
Yeah, 3 gnomes in a trench coat. Thing.
Oh man, I love D&D.
Oh man, what a wonderful! Wait, I don't think we need to create anymore.
No, we're done. We're done. That is sign print. I'd love to see it. It's real crazy, Fuzz. If I'm quiet, it's probably just hum Darkwing Duck or Chippendale Rescue Rangers because that's when it's thinking time. DuckTales. Well, it's just the woohoo. Not ponytails or cottontails. No DuckTales.
Buzzrat, my head is I just talk out loud. So you'll see me at work and walk by me, and I'll be talking to myself about stuff. That's what I do.
Customers. Oh boy, that's always
customers walk by me. I'm like, oh, I should have done it that way, and they're like,
she's into my yang.
What
She's
the hell? So, all right, well, that was fucking fun. That was fun. Next week, we have a player week. We're going to be talking about feats because we did multi-classing and leveling up. We also want to talk about how feats can make or break your game, depending on. Well, I mean, as a DM, you can always fix your game. There's ways to fix the game, but you can make or break your game with feats if you stay rules as written. If you stay close to the book as possible, your game can break. So just we'll go over some feats. We'll talk about what they do, and we'll talk about the ones that are possible game breakers and how to fix that as a DM as well. So, we have any plugs for this week, Patch?
Friday is Tips.
Yes, Tips Live.
Yeah, Tips Live.
We have a new investigator. I heard.
I think so.
I think the dysfunctional gaming higher ups actually paid the host.
Oh yeah, that's right. I actually have to earn my paycheck.
I think they paid the host to come down and actually be part of the hunt this week.
Hashtag double duty. Hashtag double pay. We're working on it.
Hashtag whiskey breath.
Hashtag Disto still needs a paycheck.
Yes. Hashtag Disto needs to stay in the van. Hey, Wig Zero. Hello,
hey,
bud.
Wing.
Hey, TSO.
Oh, and there's TSO too?
Yeah, we got a whole bunch of people in here tonight. Then Saturday night, we're going to do some more. We've got to go deeper, I think.
I believe that, yeah, we need to go deeper. Oh,
Yep.
Gato, yes. Dreamcat.
She has no tail.
Welcome. Well, Wing, we are actually just ending, but thank you for stopping in. We're going to raid over in a minute, but we're doing some quick plugs. Everybody, thank you to Beth for being here today. Very insightful information, and I appreciate you being a guest.
I appreciate being the first guest because I'm clearly the best. No.
Yes.
Yeah,
I appreciate actually
Vandal, did you
seeing
hear
her
that, Vandal?
Yeah, Vandal.
Fucking nerd.
A-Trade.
Let's see. Thank you, Beth from Umlau. Thank you, Beth from Fuzzrab.
Thank you. Nice to meet you as well. I live here.
Oh, thank you, man. I love my haircut. My
Hey, I got one too.
Ooh, look at that. Bruce Willis up in this bitch. What's up, brother?
I know.
literally
I should.
got a haircut
Yeah.
2 hours ago.
Right?
It was just a trim.
Look at all of us got haircuts.
But I got my eyebrows done. They're looking pretty good.
They on fleek.
I don't do anything to my eyebrows except like get them waxed like every 6 weeks.
I look like an anime character.
You're welcome, Kamina. Yeah, you do. That's a good thing. That's a compliment.
Kamina, thank you. All right. So, how about Beth? Are you doing anything fun tonight, this week, next week? Any games you playing?
I just got. It's funny that you ask this because I just got Ring Fit Adventure for my Switch because I have some pandemic weight that I would like to lose, but I hate working out.
Yes, the COVID-15.
Yes, the COVID-15, more like the COVID-30. Anyways,
Sounds like my freshman year in college.
pretty much. So I just got that today in the mail. I'm gonna try it tomorrow. I'm really excited about it. But other games I'm playing, Immortals Phoenix Rising, I just got the expansion on, and I've been playing a lot of Skyrim as well. And then I got the expansion for Breath of the Wild, so I've been playing some of that too. And also I have college. Yay, college. I'm 33.
Beth does not stream. She does play D&D with us though, and she's
You're welcome.
one of the most fun players I've had. She likes to keep me on my toes, and I appreciate it. That's why I think she's fun, because she literally keeps me on my. I'll be like, I want to do this, and she'll go, I don't know if you can, and she'll tell me the rule, and I'll go, yeah, you're probably right. I got to figure out how to fix this now.
But I also will. I don't just.
No, I get it. No, yes. You also bring it to yourself. Yes. You also
actually,
like your.
Kevin, you still have another attack. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, you do help us out too. You help. Well, you're a helpful player. You help the DM. You help your friends in your party as well. So
I was that kid in school too. Nobody liked me. No, I'm just kidding.
She does not stream though. Are we streaming tomorrow? By the way, I'll be streaming tomorrow night.
I will be streaming
late.
tomorrow sometime after work.
Yeah, I'll be streaming late tomorrow night. Probably to my personal one.
I don't know. Maybe someday I will stream. Right now, the reason I don't is I can't because I play on the Switch. Oh, I guess I could now because you have all this crazy setup. But the other thing too is that I very much don't want someone to tell me how to play a video game, and if they do, I will lose my mind. Like,
well, that's why you have good moderators that just ban them quick.
Yep. And I don't know. I don't know if that's something that happens a lot to women. I feel like it probably does.
You can put in your tags to no backseating, so that there's already a warning. Yeah. And then if they do come in and backseat, the moderators can jump on them.
What are you playing
tomorrow? I do not. No, I might continue Sunless Sea. I've been having fun with that.
It looks fun.
It's really cool.
So I'm going to be playing Pathfinder Kingmaker. So I kind of, it's like very top down Baldur's Gate-y.
Yep.
I also saw that there's an Arkham Horror RPG that's on sale. Yeah.
Is it the one that DD? It might be the one that DD was playing. He had a cool game that was playing. Yeah. Also, there was another game that I saw that. Who was it? I think it was Crunchy was talking about it last night.
Fishing Simulator?
No, it's called Carta or something.
Carta. I'll take a look.
Let me go to my library to see what it was.
Oh, I've been playing Hyrule Warriors too.
Oh, absolutely, Umlau. As soon as Dark Alliance drops in June, I'm buying that for PS4 or whatever console I have, or if I can handle on my PC, because that's Gauntlet Legends D&D, and I'm so excited. It's dropping June 22nd, I get to be tricked.
It's called Crata, Crata.
Crata.
It's a game where you create your own games for other people to play. It's a world building game with everybody. So you build a game for them, and they can go play it. And the most played games that are picked, people can make money. So it's just going to be. It's going to be an ever growing. Everything's going to change all the time. There's never going to be a set amount of like episodes or anything. You could always make something new.
I do not have the patience for that. I just don't.
It looks really cool, and it's all co-op.
That's pretty cool.
So you can play with multiplayer and friends and stuff.
I feel like I just want to play. I don't want to make anything.
Right. Well, that you can do that. So, any other things? Let's see. Shameless plugs. GM Patch Nasty. You can find him at
GM Patch Nasty on Twitter, GM Patch Nasty on Twitch, GM Patch Nasty on TikTok, GM Patch Nasty on other things. Yeah, or Patch Nasty 312 on Facebook. That's one you can also find me on too. Like me on friend me on Facebook. Yeah, I never say that one.
Beth, do you have anything you want to say about anything you want to plug?
No.
Okay.
He's right. Game Master. That is what it means. Couldn't pick DM because of connotation. DM Patch Nasty. Yeah, let me slide up on in.
I thought it stood for good man.
Great mustache.
Good man. Yeah, it's Game Master or Dungeon Master if you hear DM.
Yep.
But GM is Game Master. I am Thundercat0420. You can find me on Twitter and Twitch at that, YouTube at that. But please go join our Discord if you're not already in the Discord. That's where you can find all of our stuff and anything that we might be doing. So if you can jump in there, we got the link in the chat right now, and we will have our link in our Twitters and stuff. Oh, jeez. Tater just raided us with 40 people.
Oh, my God. Tato with the raid. My man.
Let me put the raid up. We just got that. Oh, it's not working.
No.
Can I test it here?
Hi.
Got the follow working.
Boop. What's Candlekeep Mystery? That's the new book. Look at all the people.
Holy
Shadow.
shit. What's happening?
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Doctor.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
I know. I always do that. I just get excited.
I don't know why the raid one didn't work. I'm gonna have to test it now to make it work, just so they can have it.
Figure that out.
Because they have to.
Hi, Dr. Beth. Well, see, today what we're going to do is we're going to connect your spleen to your knee.
Potato raid.
Potato raid. Hi, Wombat. Hi, everybody. The mustache.
Test raid.
Blah, blah, blah,
Test
blah,
raid.
blah, yada,
There it is.
yada,
Blah, 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 blah. Yada, yada.
Come from Toy Story.
You got the Randy raid.
Yeah. Throw it in. That's amazing.
I don't know why it doesn't work, though.
We'll have to figure that out. We just got it. We figured it all out, and that's how you do things. We just finished chatting about making villains and women in D&D because my lovely fiance is here. And we were just about
people. Can we just be people in D&D, man?
Yeah. And we were gonna figure out who to raid to, and then we got hit with the Randy raid. Tater says hi.
Hi. D&D is fun, and if you don't play it, you should.
He was talking about playing it earlier, and I said that we'll keep him in mind when we're.
You have great timing. High fives. Yeah, there. Ha. There you go.
Yep.
Literally.
Jet, what's happening? Wombat's here. These are all the Tater friends.
All the tater tots.
All the Tater tots. I'm hoping that might have changed it. But let's see. I'm going to do it again just so it pops up again.
Blah, 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 yada, yada, toys. It's the song from Toy Story.
Hi.
Oh, we got another follow. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Wombat's now following. Hi. Oh, Eat, thank you for the follow. Rated by Tater. Tater's the man. He rated me last night on my...
Hi.
Oh, Jet's here. Hi.
Hey.
It's so funny to me.
If anyone in our chat has not followed that lovely, lovely, sultry voice of Ossitator, you should certainly ask him all your NASA-related questions. That man has met aliens, and just listening to him, it's amazing.
That man has met aliens.
I don't know. I make wild claims, but if
Right.
anybody would want to talk to, like, aliens would want to talk to anybody, it'd be Morgan Freeman and Ossitator.
We do have a probe command.
Yes.
The other day he was like, "Oh yeah, I do IT at NASA." He just like slowly like said it out. I do IT at NASA, no big deal or whatever. He's like, "It's not like I make the rockets or anything." I'm like, "Yeah, but you make sure all the systems that work on the rockets are made right, that work right." That's pretty important.
Yep.
Wombat asked a question. So with D&D, what are your thoughts on Castle Ravenloft?
Oh, perfect person. Talk to Beth.
I ran Castle Ravenloft. Okay, first of all, I love the castle. It was so fun to run. It culminated everything in such a perfect way. I felt when we finally did it, I was ready. I was like, I can do this. My players were like, oh, boom, boom. We friggin' went through it almost super easily, except for that.
Except for the tower that wants to...
Amazing. That was amazing. No, you guys teleported yourself out back to the tower.
that.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Oh,
Hilarious. So this is the right one.
you had great DM face.
I did. That was probably the only time in my existence as a DM. Because, you see those ads on Facebook and, Instagram that say, like, Mugs, the world's okayest DM. I'm not terrible, but I'm, my heart's not in it as much as it is being a player, I think. So, yeah, Ravenloft was amazing. It was a great experience, and I enjoyed doing it, but I don't know if I'd do it again.
I'm glad I read Ravenloft after we read it, because I was reading Strahd when you said you wanted to, and I watched Dracula Dead and loving it, and that's how I was going to play Strahd, was just Leslie Nielsen, because I thought it was going to be hilarious, because he is such a huge presence in that book, and I was like, I get to be silly. Thank you, Tater. It's a great movie. It's not the way you want to play Strahd, though. But having the presence of Leslie Nielsen throughout the whole adventure would have been terrible. Absolutely terrible. That was going to be the voice, and it was good. You're going to hate it.
I think I did a pretty good Dracula.
Vampire voice?
No, not the voice, just the encounter.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, but by that time I had daylight. Oh, yay, daylight.
It didn't matter.
I know, I wish I had Sunbeam.
So,
we're a bunch of
I hate to get rated then run, but we finished the podcast.
Yeah.
And that's just the way the cookie crumbles, as they say.
That's the way the cookie crumbles. So while he's rating, please, there are a couple of links that you might be seeing. There is one for the YouTube. You should certainly go subscribe to our YouTube and watch Zombo Force. It is hilarious. They don't know how many Ghostbusters there are, and I almost lost my shit last Saturday when I was watching it with them, and it was hilarious. Join the Discord so we can watch movies together. We talk a lot in our Discord. I like to watch movies in there when I have no streams. I don't talk to them. I deafen myself and I mute it.
With yourself.
Yeah, oh yeah, so no one else. A little bit like Frogger too. But thank you everyone for coming out. We certainly appreciate it.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for being here, Beth. I certainly appreciate it. It's nice to be more than a voice, as opposed to, a face as opposed to a voice.
I'm just your conscience while you play video games.
Oh no, absolutely. I don't have a conscience.
Yes, you do. It's me.
Yeah, burn it down. That's what it is.
No, usually it's This is how you solve that puzzle.
Yeah, 20 minutes later.
I like puzzles.
Yeah, so Throg's playing Battletoads right now. We'll give him some hype. He's an awesome streamer, good guy. Helped me a lot with my stream stuff when we first started. And so let's give him some love and throw up the Randy raids if you can. Smooches to you guys. Thank you to
Smooches,
Beth.
back to you.
And bye.
Bye, everybody.